Hello everyone, this is Mr. Wolf, and today we are going to be talking about subtracting with fractions. And in many ways, subtracting with fractions is just like adding with fractions. To be allowed to do it, we need to have like denominators. So if we look here, we have an 8 as our denominator for our first number, and an 8 as our denominator for our second number. So we have two different fractions, but they have like denominators. So I immediately know my answer is going to be in eighths. And I can just subtract across. 5 minus 2 equals 3. And that would be my answer, 3/8. But not all of our problems are going to be that easy. Here we have a problem of 5/6 minus 3/4. And similar to when we were adding fractions, we're looking at our denominators and we're noticing this has a 6 as a denominator, this is a 4 as a denominator. We don't have common denominators and we cannot continue until we do. So I'm going to use my factors this time to find what my common denominator between my lowest common denominator between 6 and 4 is. I'm going to go like this to give myself room to work and separate things out. I know that 6 is the same as 2 times 3. I know 4 is the same as 2 times 2. And these are my prime factors. I can't break 2 or 3 down any more than this. So the first thing I'm going to do is look for numbers that the 6 and the 4 share. In this case, it is a single 2. So I'm going to start with that. And then I'm going to look for the numbers they don't share. Well, the 6 has a 3 that the 4 doesn't have. So I'm going to include that 3. So I've now used my 2's, I've used my 3, and the 4 has a 2 that the 6 doesn't have. The 6 has the first 2, but it doesn't have a second 2. So I'm going to include that as well. And now I can go 2 times 3 is 6, times 2 is 12. And that is the lowest common denominator of 6 and 4. So I now know this equation is not going to be 5/6 minus 3/4. It's going to be some number of 12ths minus some number of 12ths, which will equal some number of 12ths. And I always like writing this in early so that it allows me to keep track of what I've done. So now I'm going to separate out. I found my lowest common denominator. Now I need to convert my fractions. So I have 5/6, and I don't want it to be sixths anymore. I want it to be 12ths, but I can't change its value. So the only thing I can do without changing its value is multiply it by 1. If you multiply it by 1, it keeps its value, it keeps its identity. That is the identity property. But I can use a fraction that is an equivalent form of 1. And so I can do two things. I can look and say 6 times something equals 12. Or I can say, what didn't the 6 have that the 12 has? The 6 has the 2, the 6 has the 3, it doesn't have the second 2. 6 times 2 equals 12. And to make this an equivalent form of 1, I need a 2 at the top as well. 5 times 2 is 10. And I'm going to immediately put in my 10. And now I'm going to keep going. I have 3/4. But I don't want 3/4. I want 12ths. So once again, I'm going to multiply by an equivalent form of 1, a fraction that equals 1. And I know 4 times 3 equals 12. So I'll put a 3 at the top as well to make this one whole. 3 times 3 is 9. I'm going to put in the 9. Now I have, instead of 5/6 minus 3/4, I have 10/12 minus 9/12, meaning my answer is 1/12. there we have the answer to my problem. In my next video, I'm going to talk about what to do when we have mixed numbers and we need to do regrouping. So follow the link if you need to work on that skill as well. I hope you learned something new. Have a great day.